Hey everyone, it's Jen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a couple of tutorials for Scrap Diva Designs. I showed a few projects the other day and I had some requests to show how to put some of them together. So I thought I would come on today and show you two different projects. I will have these products linked down below in the description box. You can go ahead and order them if you would like, if they're still available on Erica's website. My referral link is down below. If you purchase through that link, I do get a small commission. It's nothing extra to you. And also I have a coupon code, which is strawberry cream. If you use that at checkout, you will get 10% off of your order. So let's get started. So like I said, I have two different tutorials. The first one is going to be for this bow, and this is called the double loop scallop bow number 2. It comes in two different sizes. And then the next one is going to be for the butterfly rosette. And again, this comes in two different sizes and you get both with the die set. So I'll show you how to make both of those right after we do the bows. So these are the dies that you get. So you get 3 for each size. You get the loop piece, the tail, and the part that wraps around the center. So that's the smaller set and this is the larger set. So I went ahead and did some die cutting before I came on just to speed it up a little bit. So this is the loop part and I used the same paper as I did in the example, and this is some wrapping paper that I had gotten at TJ Maxx, or no, at Home Goods. So yeah, I like using wrapping paper sometimes because the paper curves very easily and you don't get any like bends and folds in your finished product. So what you want to do is start with your bow piece. Okay, so you're going to turn it over and the object is to take each piece. There are three different parts for each loop, and you're going to bring them to the center, glue it down like this, and then glue the middle part down. So, oops, sorry. So that's what the loop is going to look like. So you could either put like hot glue there. You could put any kind of wet glue. Hot glue is probably the fastest. I'm just going to use wet glue here just in case I need to move the pieces around a little bit, because with hot glue you can't really do that. So you know, it might take a little bit longer to dry this way, but that's okay. So you go ahead and take one of the loops and put it into your blob of glue. And you want to make the end go like right to the center of your bow. The center, like, you know, space part there. So it'll look just like that, because the middle part is going to cover that. So you want it to kind of cover your ends a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more glue to the top of that, and then bring the center part over those two end pieces and kind of hold it. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing to the next one. Add a big blob of glue. Oops, that one popped up. And then bring an end part down. Okay, and then bring the second one down. And then add a little bit more glue, a little bit more, and then bring the center down and hold it in place. Just going to put it down to do that. Okay, so that is drying and we'll move on with the next step. Let me just scooch that down a little bit. Okay, so then you take your tail part, add some glue to the center, and then take your loop part and press it on top. I'm just going to get a little tool to hold it down so my fingers don't get all gluey. Is that straight? Yep. And then take your middle part and just add some glue like so, and then press it over the top of your bow. Just to cover up the middle. Turn it over, bring those ends, wrap it around. And there you have a bow. Looks cute, right? We'll do another one. All right, let me get this glue off my hands. Okay, for the next bow, we're going to use a different wrapping paper. And this one is a little bit different. It's got the grids on the back, so it's not as double-sided as the other one, but hopefully we won't be able to notice too much when we're finished. But I like this paper because it's kind of shiny, and I love the pattern on it as well. So I wonder, maybe we'll use wet glue for, or hot glue for this one, just because it's shiny. I think it'll take longer to dry. So let's go ahead and try hot glue. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, because I'm going to leave it here. And let me get out a finger protector just in case. Just one of these things. All right, so I've got my glue gun, and I'm going to try and work quickly and add, let's do one blob of glue at a time. And bring this over. That. Okay, we'll do the next one. Let me bring my glue gun over a little closer. Okay, and then we'll do this one. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. We'll try the next side now. Get your glue strings off. All right. And then the next one. If you're very coordinated, you could do them both at once probably. But this doesn't take long, and this way you know you're getting the pieces in the right spot. This is just one of those finger protectors from Dollar Tree. There, that worked out pretty well, except for the glue strands. All right, then let's get out the tail. Add some wet glue to the middle. Like that. And then, let's see, we'll add a little bit of glue to the center. Like that. And then some there. Boy, this is nice and quick, right? With the hot glue. There. I like this wrapping paper. Feels so good for the bow. It's just shiny but pliable. Get those strands off. I'll finish doing that later, but that's our large one. So that's the big one, and that's a small one. They both came out really nice, right? Okay, let's move on to the butterfly rosette. Okay, so these are the dies that come with the butterfly rosette. There are 4 dies, 2 of them are connected. You might as well just leave them like that. You can cut them apart if you want to, but you need both pieces. You only have to cut them out once, so just run, you know, this through your die cutting machine once, and then the smaller one too if you want to make a smaller rosette. So here's the small one and here's the large one. So I went ahead and did my die cutting. This is for the large one, and this pair is for the smaller one. So as you can see, it embosses lines, so you're going to go ahead and do your folding with that. Whether you've done a rosette before or not, this is a good tutorial for how to put one together. So let's start with the smaller one. What you're going to do is alternate the folds, kind of like the peaks and valleys. So I don't really think it matters the way you start. I'll start, let's see, I'll start going, I think I started the last one going this way. So I'm going to take this top end here and fold it towards me right along the line, and then do the next line and just bend it back. So just, you know, bend it a little bit, but do it gently so you could feel the line as a guide. And once it starts bending in the line, then you can go ahead and press it down. And then just do that for every single one, backwards and forwards, like so. And it takes a little bit of time. And if you see you're getting it so it's not on the line, just bend it back so you're folding it in the correct spot. They're very forgiving. And you'll see it kind of forms like an accordion paper shape as you're going. Now that one I didn't fold quite right. See, it's not on the line, so I'm just going to use my nail and get it in the right spot and go like that. Now I use double-sided paper for this. You don't have to, but I just like that you'd be able, it looks nice on the back as well. Not necessary at all. And you want to use 65 to 80 pound paper, I would say. Anything thicker will be harder to bend. So there, this is Doodlebug paper. I'm not sure the weight, it might say on the paper pad. I didn't even notice, but it's either 65 or 80. Okay, so that's one that's done. This is one that's not. And like I said, it doesn't matter how you start, but just make sure they're the same. So since this one I started with the paper bent towards me, I'm going to do that with this side as well. And I'll be right back once it's all bent. All right, I'm back, and I did want to show you the paper that I'm using. This is Doodlebug Over the Rainbow. It doesn't say the weight on here, so I did want to check that out. But all right, so as you can see, I went ahead and folded the smaller papers, and I also did the larger ones. And they don't look much larger here, but they will once we're stretching them out a little bit. So let's go ahead and start with the smaller one. So to put these together, you're going to start at the top end, and you can either glue that, you're going to glue the two end tabs together. You can cut a piece off or just glue them as is. I think I'm going to cut one of the flaps off just so you don't see it in the finished product. So take one of the last flaps and just cut it right at the line, okay, right at the fold line, so it looks like that. And then we're going to glue it onto the other one. So we're going to add some glue to this flap that is remaining, okay? So I'm going to add some hot glue. You can use whatever kind of glue you like. I usually use wet glue, but today, to make it faster, I'm going to use hot glue. And then just hold it in place a second so it's nice and secure. So you have just like one continuous piece like this. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other end, and it's going to form kind of like a circle. So I'm just going to make sure that's secured. Okay, so go ahead and do the same thing for the other side, or for the bottom, and you're going to cut one flap off and then glue it onto the other side. So I'm going to cut off the same side, the left side of the rosette, just to keep it consistent. All right, so I cut that flap off, and we're going to take the other side and put glue on it and glue it over the part that we cut off. So there's my glue, and just gonna put it on top and hold it. You can use finger protectors or whatever, but I'm just trying to be careful. I've burned myself a million times, so probably don't have much feeling left. So it'll look like that. Now in my examples, I think I showed this in my project share video. Like this butterfly, I kind of glued the flaps together instead of cutting one off, and I'll try that with the larger one, just to show you different options. You don't have to do it one way or the other. Okay, so now I'm just going to refold those bends just to make them look nice. So this is what you end up with, okay? It doesn't really look like much. Okay, now once everything is glued together, just kind of hold it in the middle at the top where you glued it, and then press it down onto your, I'm using a silicone mat because I'm going to be putting hot glue on here, so I want to use something that the glue will peel off of. So just kind of hold it there. Okay, so press it all in together, and then what I'm going to do, just kind of even out the folds too with your fingers. And then I'm going to add a blob of hot glue to the middle. And make sure you have a finger protector. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with my hot glue, add a big blob in the middle. And then press all those middle parts together, see, like that. And then I just take my finger protector and hold it in the middle until it dries. And that takes, it's a pretty big blob of glue, so it'll take a minute or so. And then you could just kind of adjust it while you're waiting. And then it should look like this. This one came out really good. This is one of my previous versions. This one I'm having a hard time seeing because it's through the camera, but we'll take a look when it's done. Let me just take my finger off, see how it's going. Still not dry. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So that's the smaller rosette. And let's do the bigger one. All right, so these are the big ends. And I'm going to do what I did the last time. I've got glue on my nails. I'm going to cut off one of the flaps, like that, and then glue it on top of the other one. I'm going to use some hot glue. But like I said, normally I use wet glue for this part. Plus, I think making rosettes, hot glue gets kind of thick on your paper, so it doesn't, I don't know, just doesn't fold as nicely. See, it's kind of like stiff under there, but I'm going to try and fold it so You don't really notice that. Okay, that's fine. And then let's do the back or the bottom. Oh, I was going to show you how to glue them together. So you could just go ahead and like take the two ends and glue them together like that. Let's try that. I guess I could have done that for the top, but we'll just do it for the bottom. Just like that. Usually when I watch people make rosettes, they do this kind of style by cutting off a flap, but I figured I would try it this way before, and it worked out good on that last example. So let's try it again. Okay, so that is the big one. So you're going to do the same thing, kind of hold it at the top, and then press all of the middle ends together, just like this. Yeah, that looks good, right? Take your hot glue and get my finger thingy. Make a blob in the middle. Press everything together like this and then hold it. This one's coming out better, I think. And then once it's all dry, obviously you want to cover up that middle part. So like I did with the previous versions, this one I glued on a button that has some thread going through it. And then I used some trim from the wedding section at Hobby Lobby. This is just like fishing line that has little gold beads on it. And I just cut off pieces of them and hot glued them to the back as well. So you could do so much with these. You could add sentiments to them and then put them on the front of a card or on albums, you know, whatever kind of paper crafting projects you make. So I just love 3D embellishments like this, and these are a great gift too to add to like embellishment boxes or embellishment books, because lots of times, you know, people, when they're making projects, it's so nice to have pre-made embellishments. You know, you don't have to stop what you're doing and make butterfly rosettes or bows or whatever. It's just, I think, a really thoughtful gift for a fellow crafter. Okay, so this one is dry. This one probably could have used a little bit more glue, but it looks fine actually. So isn't that pretty? I like how it looks when it's glued together here at the bottom, like folded together. It just looks really nice and finished, I think. So yeah, this one came out good. You could also add, instead of a button, you could add just like a die cut little circle here if you want to keep it nice and flat, or if you're gifting them, that way the person who you're gifting them to can embellish them the way they want to, but they have the base all done. So yeah, that's those are my tutorials for today. I hope they were helpful. Thank you to everyone who requested them. I'm always happy to do tutorials for something that I don't think has, you know, been done before. If I do know of someone else, I'll definitely refer you to them. But I haven't seen tutorials for these yet, so that's why I was happy to do them and to help. So if you have any more questions, please let me know down below. I will link these 2 die sets in the description box, as well as my referral link and my coupon code, which is Strawberry Cream. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more crafty videos. Take care, everybody. Bye.